Hello and welcome to All Things F1 as you join us for our next episode in our podcast series, where we're going to be reviewing the events from the British Grand Prix weekend, having a look at some of the paddock gossip that came out over the course of the 3 days, and then making our predictions for the Austrian Grand Prix, which kicks off with FP1 this Friday in Spielberg. So, as it tends to in Great Britain, the weather played its role over the Grand Prix weekend, with a smattering of rain on Friday for FP2, and a wet qualifying session on Saturday which saw Carlos Sainz take his first pole position of his F1 career in his 150th race. Red Bull and Max Verstappen seemingly had the pace to take a comfortable pole position, however couldn't string together a clean lap in Q3, including a spin out of Zhou on one of his flying laps. He had to settle for second place ahead of Leclerc in third and Perez starting fourth. Hamilton was the highest placed Brit in fifth, as Mercedes seemed optimistic with their race pace, anticipating a dry race on Sunday. The first lap of the Grand Prix was marred by a big crash involving multiple cars going into turn 1, most notably for Zhou, who achieved his best ever qualifying spot, making it into Q3 for the first time in his career. The crash resulted in him hurtling towards the barriers upside down with only the halo separating his helmet from the tarmac, as the roll hoop behind the driver's head got destroyed on impact. You can see the 1 cm deep groove gauged into the track from the Alfa Romeo car, highlighting the energy involved in the crash. The incident also resulted in Russell and Albon retiring on lap 1 from their home race. The halo was not only a saving grace for Zhou, but earlier in the day during the F2 feature race, one of the Red Bull young drivers got pushed onto the grass approaching the Vale chicane. Hitting the curb, it launched him up from the inside of the corner and into the path of Roy Insani's cockpit, with the halo also saving direct head contact in this accident. So I don't think anyone can argue against the introduction of the halo, given how many accidents it seems to have prevented at least injury, if not worse, over the last couple of years. Once the race got underway, it was the 2 Ferraris that led after Max Verstappen suffered a puncture and picked up debris under his car, causing a loss of downforce to the remainder of the race, effectively ruling him out of the running for the podium spots. Leclerc sustained front wing damage on the restart, which he also carried throughout the race, but he managed to stay with Sainz during the first stint. Once Hamilton cleared Norris, who jumped him at the restart, he was able to close the gap and run to within 4 to 5 seconds of the Ferraris prior to the first pit stops, in third place. Once the Ferraris pitted, Hamilton stayed out, extending his stint considerably longer, while only losing 1 to 2 tenths a lap to the Ferraris behind on fresher tyres. This would ultimately put him in the running for the race win, as when he made his pit stop, he came out 6 to 7 seconds behind Leclerc and Sainz, with tyres 10 to 15 laps younger, and was able to close the gap on merit. However, a late safety car caused by the Alpine of Ocon stopping on the back straight allowed Sainz and Hamilton to pit for fresh soft tyres with 10 laps to go, and Leclerc stayed out with the hards for the restart. The safety car also brought Perez back into play as it closed the gap, and he made his way back up to 4th following an early drop down the order. As the racing got underway, Sainz quickly jumped Leclerc on his fresh soft tyres, and Perez jumped Hamilton as they battled to get past a struggling Charles Leclerc on his old worn hards. A great 3-way battle ensued as multiple overtakes swapped positions between these 3, all allowing Sainz to build a comfortable lead in the closing laps. He went on to take his maiden Grand Prix win, and a well-deserved one, keeping his nose clean during a close race. Perez came home second and Hamilton third. Leclerc maintained 4th place, having fallen victim to another strategy decision by Ferrari not to pit him under the safety car. Verstappen brought home the damaged Red Bull car in 7th, as Schumacher earned his first F1 points in 8th place, a close finish between the two. A thrilling race that Ferrari ultimately won despite probably not having the raw pace of Verstappen over the course of the weekend, but lessons to be learned for the strategy, as we often find ourselves saying for Ferrari, which is particularly more poignant now they are in a championship fight. Onto the paddock gossip, and Jos Capito confirmed over the weekend that Nicholas Latifi will see out the remaining races this season with Williams. He secured a top 10 start in a wet qualifying session at Silverstone, his first ever Q3 appearance. However, there have been increasing rumours that Oscar Piastri is seemingly being lined up to take his seat, with Capito admitting the team have options for 2023. It is also expected that Red Bull will announce a partnership with Porsche to supply them with power units from 2026. Audi and Porsche have already been cleared to enter F1 by the VW board, seemingly with Audi set to take over Alfa Romeo and Porsche set to enter F1 as an engine supplier to Red Bull, whilst they currently run, in essence, the Honda project engine under the Red Bull powertrain's name. Time will tell, but this is Red Bull's home race, so keep your ears peeled for announcements. And on to Austria for our predictions for this weekend. Despite a scruffy weekend for Verstappen at Silverstone, Red Bull seem to have the raw pace and dry conditions, and we expect this to carry over to Austria for their home race. We think Ferrari will be a close second, but not close enough to secure victory, which, barring any reliability issues, we think they will secure second and third steps on the podium. Mercedes will be right there to capitalise on any issues. It may not be quite as strong as at Silverstone, a track which suited their car. Having got on top of the porpoising and bouncing issues largely, at the moment we look forward to seeing if they can progress to getting back to regularly fighting for podiums and race wins on merit. So that's it, thanks for watching, and we'd love it if you could like this video and subscribe for more content as it comes out. Until next time, see you around.